Hi, it's Nick from the Run Testers, and this is our review of the Reebok Floatride Energy 4. So the kind of most important stat of all with the Reebok Floatride Energy 4 is the price. It's £75 in the UK, which is the same price as the previous version, whereas in the US it's $110, which is $10 up on what the Floatride Energy 3 cost. Still very good value, even with that slight rise. The shoe has a 9mm drop from heel to toe, and my UK size 9 weighs in at 250 grams or 8.8 ounces. Now that's a big drop in weight on the previous version, which was 264 grams in the UK 8.5, so a smaller size that weighed a fair bit more. So that's kind of the big key change here with the new version of the shoe. For me, it's dropped weight, and a lot of that is down to the redesigned upper. This is the Reebok Speed Shift material, which is kind of a very nice breathable mesh. It feels thinner and there's less padding kind of knocking around the tongue, around the collar, but it still feels like it holds the foot better overall as well. It's a really good upper change, and it really changes the whole feel of the shoe on the foot for me. You've got some reinforcement around the base of the heel to provide a little bit of stability there, and then it's kind of nice Reebok stitching at the back there. In the midsole, you still got the same Floatride Energy foam, and as far as I know, this is exactly the same as kind of the midsole on the Floatride Energy 3. So this foam is not the softest in the world, but it's not at all harsh. It's protective, it's cushioned, there's a little bit of response there. It's a really just good, well-rounded foam, I think, for daily training, even if it's not you're not gonna step into this and it's gonna feel extraordinarily dramatic or anything like that. But yeah, it's a good, reliable foam that has a fairly versatile ride. You've got a heel bevel at the back there to kind of create a slightly smoother transition from heel to toe, but there's no real exaggerated rocker on this shoe or anything like that. Outsole is made from carbon rubber. You've got kind of almost mini lugs over the kind of forefoot of the shoe and on the inside of the kind of heel area. It's very basically the same outsole design as you had on the Floatride Energy 3, which held up really well for me, and this is showing no signs of wear and tear and has gripped well in a nice range of conditions so far. When it comes to the fit of the shoe, I actually wore an 8.5 in the previous version of the Floatride Energy, and that fit me really well, and I kind of forgot that and asked for my normal UK 9 in the Floatride Energy 4, and it's slightly too long in the toe for me. I would have been happier going half a size down again, but it hasn't been a problem at all. Having a little bit of extra room on the toe box is never a big problem. It holds very nicely around the midfoot and heel, and the fit's very nice and comfortable, whether you're true to size or maybe go for the lower of the half sizes if you're slightly in between two. So the Floatride Energy 4 really impressed me on my first run in the shoe. The upper change really made it feel like a new shoe to me. It was very light and nimble, and as I kind of moved through the gears on an easy, steady hour, I just really enjoyed how the shoe felt at kind of a nice range of paces. It was comfortable and protective at easy paces, but then turned over quickly, and it felt very comfortable to run faster paces in it as well. I've done now about 50k in the shoe, doing a couple other easy runs and a kind of speed session, and my impression of the shoe hasn't changed too much. I'm a really big fan of this update and the shoe in general. I think I really noticed the drop in weight. I did a long hill session running 6 times 3 minute hills in the shoe, and on those kind of extended uphills, having that lighter pickup, and the shoe almost feels even lighter than it actually is, because 250 grams is not a featherweight, but it felt really lightweight. Pickup was nice. It felt like it was helping me kind of push on and on and on up those kind of long hill reps, and I really enjoyed using it for that. I think it's a good it's a good shoe that will work well in your kind of general speed sessions, even if it maybe lacks that kind of all-out top pace that you'll get from a lighter shoe, one with a plate or a slightly bouncier, more responsive foam to use maybe for kind of track reps of kind of shorter distances. But when you're knocking out long, hard reps or doing kind of tempo training, that kind of thing, it will serve you very well for sure. I had a slight worry that it wouldn't be comfortable enough for kind of really all-out easy runs, because the foam isn't the squishiest in the world, but actually I took it out for my traditional very early Wednesday morning recovery run, which is my least favourite run of the week generally, but it felt really comfortable on that, on tired legs, waking up the day after a hard session at the track and just ticking along in it. Felt very comfortable and pleasant, and for me it really ticks the boxes kind of across the board as a daily trainer. Like, there are some people who might want a squishier, more cushioned shoe for easy runs, and like I say, for fast, all-out speed sessions, there are faster shoes out there, but as a shoe that fits in between those categories and does them both quite well, the Floatride Energy 4 works really very well, especially for £75. So the Reebok Floatride Energy 3 was already one of the best value shoes on the market, and the changes made with the Floatride Energy 4 have certainly improved the shoe for me. They've done the right thing and kept kind of the heart of the shoe more or less the same, the midsole, whilst vastly improving the upper to make it a lighter and just kind of better shoe all round as a result of that upper update. makes it a more versatile shoe and how it handles kind of speed work and speedier running in general, but also just makes it more comfortable and fun to use on easy runs because you're still getting that protective cushioning below, but just now in a lighter shoe with a nicer kind of upper, I think. You know, there's not that kind of plush tongue and plush heel padding that you get on some very cushioned shoes, but I didn't really miss that myself. I have to say, I don't always feel the need for that, even on a cushioned recovery shoe. So yeah, the key thing to say also is this isn't just a great kind of daily trainer for the price of £75. It's a very competitive shoe, you know, whatever price point you're looking at. There are shoes that cost twice as much as this that I would certainly not be picking over the Floatride Energy for. So don't go into it thinking you're just getting a great bargain. You're just getting a great shoe, and it's just, you know, a massive bonus that only costs 75 quid. So I think it's probably, for me, its natural home is in a rotation, in shoe rotation with kind of faster options, especially some kind of carbon plate racing shoe that maybe you use for your speed work, and then you could actually even slip in a cushion shoe in a 3-shoe rotation with this and use this as kind of tackling all your daily easy steady tempo running and leaving, you know, the kind of speedy stuff for the carbon shoe, and then the very, very easy recovery stuff for a more cushion shoe. But then I do think this works well in a 2-shoe or even a 1-shoe rotation, just because it really does handle the vast majority of daily training very well for me in terms of cushioned runs, you know, general speed work, and maybe not racing and all-out track work, but it does the rest of it really well. When it comes to competition around this kind of price point, there's not a lot of it. The other big shoe that, you know, is great value in my opinion is the Puma Velocity Nitro 2. We're going to do a full comparison video on these two shoes because I do think they're the two best value shoes out there at the moment. But the Velocity Nitro, in short, is a kind of more cushioned, comfortable option. The foam is kind of better, I would say, on the Puma. It's got a bit more bounce to it while also being cushier. But the Reebok's a bit lighter, a bit more stable, a bit more structured around the upper, and a bit cheaper. It's 25 quid cheaper because the Puma comes in at £100. So there's two cracking shoes there, and it might kind of depend on what your ride feel preference is, which you go for. And there's a few other shoes that kind of hover around the £100 mark, things like the Nike Pegasus. Got the 39 coming in, haven't tested it yet, but the 38 is certainly much more of a cushioned cruiser of a shoe than the Reebok. This is lighter, nimbler, better for speed work, more versatile, whereas the Pegasus is probably more of a cushioned, easy day option these days compared to what it used to be, certainly. And then there's the Brooks Launch as well, which I think is a very underrated shoe in a similar mould to this, which is, you know, a lightweight, kind of fairly traditional feeling shoe that comes in around £100. I'd say this is better. I think the foam on the Reebok is a bit more exciting. I've enjoyed using this more for a range of runs, whereas the Launch is slightly uninspiring, if a very reliable option for a good price. So yeah, overall there's very little I would criticise about the Floatride Energy 4. Like I said, the updates have improved the shoe and it's just a fantastic option for £75. But even if you throw that price out the window, it's a very competitive daily trainer that stands up well against, you know, shoes that cost a lot more than it. That's it, guys. That is our review of the Reebok Floatride Energy 4. Let us know what you think in the comments. Have you been a fan of this shoe line? And what other really good value shoes are there out there we should try and get into test? Please like, subscribe, ring the little bell, and we'll see you next time.